Hi guys, welcome to Gear Up with Gadgets. I'm Colson Gear, and today I'm glad to show you my newest gadget. This is what I call the hot knife. Basically, it's a wire that's heated up over 300 degrees by batteries to basically be a utility knife or whatever you would have for it to basically melt through stuff instead of cut through stuff. So there it is, all heated up, and it just effortlessly cuts through stuff. Definitely a cool little thing to have. Here's paper. This cuts right through it. So, definitely a cool thing to have. I hope you guys stick around and watch how I made this. Alright guys, so here's the plan. So, here is our rod that we're going to be using as our extension and retraction, so this won't be sticking out the whole time. Right here we've got our wing nut, so this is what's tightening down the wire, and then as we follow the wire we've got this round thing. It's supposed to be a round gear. Anyway, it's the spring coil from a tape measure, and that will allow it to expand and retract the wire. Right here we've got a locking thing, and that's what locks on these gears. This will stop it from expanding out when we're applying pressure onto the wire. Right in here is where we're going to keep our batteries, and we can fit 8 on each level, and there's going to be 4 levels. Here's our cap. Right here is a conductive plate that will touch this wire right here that goes all the way up and then touches the rod, and that's how the electricity is going to go from this side of the batteries to this side of the wire. And then on the other side of the batteries we've got this conductive plate that goes through a wire to the switch, and then from the switch to a place where it rubs against the wire, and so then our electricity can travel between the thin wire. So right here we've got our unlocking for expanding this out, so when this goes down, this little bump right here that prevents it from going too far out will get locked behind this piece right here. And then we've got another one. It's kind of hard to see with this wire here, but anyway, when this goes farther enough, this pops out just a little bit, so then it can't go back down until we're ready. Welcome to the shop, guys. Alright, so I've got all my stuff printed that I need printed right now, and now I'm ready to fix up the metal rod that we're gonna have running, sliding down here and bent over right here. So I'm probably gonna bend it somewhere around there, and then I'm gonna end up shortening it here. Then I'm gonna grab my machine screw, and I'm gonna cut the machine screw to probably around there somewhere, weld it to this, then I'm gonna drill a hole through it so we can run our small little wire through it, and then tighten the nut down, and then it will allow us to clamp in the wire. The machine screw that I used was just a regular 10-24 machine screw and a similar 10-24 wing nut. So let's get started. Alright guys, got it all finished and set up. So, got the bolt, the machine screw all welded on there. I got the hole drilled into it, so the wire fits nicely in there. And then when I put this down, it'll screw it on and it'll tighten it. I mean, I'm pulling on this pretty good and it's not going anywhere. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. You may also notice that there's a little notch in the middle of this piece. Let's see if I can get a better camera angle. Anyway, that just gives the wire somewhere to sit, so then it's not falling off the side like this or over here. So it'll sit nicely in the middle, and that also provides a good conductive point for the wire, for the electricity to go through. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Alrighty guys, so now we're ready for the general assembly of this. So here's the tape measure spring coil. So I'm going to be putting this little piece in here. First I'm going to put some super glue in there. Then I'm going to be putting some super glue on the gear piece, and I will stick this in there. Make sure you get the angle, make sure it's facing the right way. Then there used to be in the original model a piece that went right here and stopped it from rotating there, but that broke away almost immediately. So came up with this. Basically, it'll do the same thing, so it'll allow it to spin this way, and then it'll catch it so it won't go back unless we pull it up on this. So I will probably cut it right about there and glue it or melt it to there. And then next part of the assembly is going to be the locks that hold this piece out and in. So when it's in the down position, there's going to be a little notch right here, and when it's in the up position, there's going to be a little notch right here. So this little piece I printed separately. I'm going to probably 3D pen, use my 3D pen and melt that in together. Basically, this will press against in the notch and it won't let it go up or down until you pull it back. So then I'll have a little update when I've got that finished. Alrighty guys, so I've got that all completed. Waiting for glue to dry now. So in the meantime, I'm ready to run the copper wires. So the first one is going to be run from here through these holes and into there just a little bit, and that's what's going to connect to this. It's going to rub against this rod, and so the electricity is going to travel with that. The next one, I'm going to put an aluminum base plate in the bottom of that, and there's going to be a copper wire where it connects, and it's going to go in through a hole back in there, and it's going to connect to this side, and then with one of these, and then one of these is going to connect with one of these, and it's going to go out and over here somewhere for now. Alright guys, so as you can see, it is finished. It is fully complete, except I just have to, of course, put on the cover for the switch. But everything else is done and it is in working condition. So we got the battery plates right here, switch, latch 1 and latch 2. So in the plans, I had planned to put this wheel lock over here, but it worked better over here and it's a lot simpler over here. Then I have a couple notches in the metal for this little latch to fit into so it won't move when it's not supposed to. So to get it up, I just have to extend both latches. That latches into place, and I can pull this back. It's tight, and flip the switch, and you can see immediately it's cherry red. And if I pull out my, see if I can do this. Got up to 300, that's pretty good. Alright guys, so now for a demonstration. So it cuts paper really well. So, I mean, it just burns right through it. Surprisingly, it doesn't even catch it on fire. Like, smoking a little bit, but it just cut it out. So yeah, cuts paper pretty easy. Alright guys, so this is outdoor, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a rack that you put on outside of your house before you put siding on when you're building a house. And this can be a pain to cut through, especially like even with a razor knife. If it's not sharp, like you can have a time like cutting through it. I mean, this is not a new blade by all means, but it's definitely not that dull. But if I pull this baby out, just right through it. And the cool thing about this is it's not going to break apart here like it did with the knife. Like, it's going to leave a nice smooth edge. As far as it's not going to fuzz out like this stuff. But yeah, pretty satisfying. That of course is just melting right through it. Easy. Alright, so the next thing I have for you is a piece of acrylic. So this stuff probably won't cut as well because it's a lot thicker, but I mean it still melts through it pretty fast. You can definitely tell like it absorbs the heat from the blade, like it gets dark where you just went over it. But I mean, that just cut 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch thick acrylic, so yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, next we have a popsicle stick. So let's try cutting that. Man, that was better than the acrylic. I mean, holy crap. Just right through it. All right, let's have a little bit of fun with a glue stick. We're just gonna cut that right in half. We'll do it on the side you can see. Definitely taking a little bit longer to cut through, but yeah, it's melting through it. So yep, there we go. Pretty sweet. Also would work great for cutting PVC pipe. So this looks like it's pretty rough cut, not straight, but I mean, if you were wanting a nice clean cut, you just melt right through it. You know you're cutting straight through it. Oh, and we just broke wire. So the cool thing about this is I just turn it off. Careful, it is a little hot. Unspool it a little bit. Unscrew this. Discard this old wire. Thread it into the hole. Screw it down. Wind it back up. And tighten it down. And there we are. We're all set again. There we go. Nice and red hot. So, alrighty guys, so it broke again. I think I was pressing too hard on it. Gotta wait till it melts. But so now I'm just gonna keep going right through it again, and I'm gonna speed up the video because this is gonna take a second. But speed up the video until I finish cutting through it. Alright guys, we're almost through it, and there we go. Nice. Cleaner cut than with a saw, I would argue, but yep. So, there we go. So, this is probably my most favorite part about this is, so you know ropes, especially these nylon plastic ropes, is they fray like this. And so what you do is you have to heat them with a lighter and melt it and round it off. But nice thing about this is this cuts it and melts it off for you at this exact same time. So, but yeah guys, it just cuts right through. It is so satisfying. Cut it lengthwise a little bit. But yeah. And that is like, that's not gonna fray on you. Like, you don't have to tie it, don't have to burn it. I mean, it's already melted all together, so it's not going anywhere. And little plastic pipe. I mean, it cuts through pretty nicely too. Nice clean cuts. You don't have to worry about the jagged edges of a saw. But yeah, there we go. It's already through. So I like this thing. It's pretty handy. Thank you guys for sticking around this long. I'd just like to say thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe and like button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.